when I went to SSK, in the vendor room, there was Woolens and Nosh, and I was like, oh, okay. One of the ladies in knit group had always talked about Woolens and Nosh. She gets a lot of their yarn. I love self-striping yarn, and I was like, oh, okay. I think I'm going to start. So Woolens and Nosh has a monthly yarn subscription, basically. I'm not a fan of surprise things. Mystery knit-alongs are not for me. Like the mystery boxes, I'm like, most of the time I'm like, oh, okay, this, half the stuff I don't like. Yarn advents or yarn countdown calendars, I usually do okay with because I pick a theme that I like and it's cohesive enough that even like, I don't like yellow. I got a Wizard of Oz countdown one a couple years ago. It had yellow in it, but cohesively all together, I love the whole thing. Still have not figured out what to do with it. Drop things in the comments if you have suggestions on like a not like all over the place kind of colors countdown calendar. I would love to hear about that. Anyway, so I started getting sock of the month club is what I call it. So I get a skein of yarn and a mini to go with it. I opted for DK because I wear size 11 shoes in women's. It's about not the biggest, but one of the biggest that you can have in the US. And it takes me a while to knit socks because of that. So I opted for the DK. And then I made my first pair of DK socks right before I went. And I love them. Like they're so cozy and so comfortable and they knit up fast. Like this is a pretty big deal. I can get a pair of socks done maybe in about 3 weeks, 4 depending on what I have going on. So we're going to start with these. Hopefully you'll recognize these. So this pair of socks coordinate with another item that I've knit. Hold on. So this pair of socks, gosh, I just have all the stuff on these. Gracious. This pair of socks coordinate with my Comfort Fade Cardi. You've seen me. I think I've worn it a couple times here. It's my favorite go-to fall, spring, winter coat, as crazy as that is. Anyway, I love the colors, so now I have a pair of socks that match my sweater. The next thing that I have, so when I got my monthly subscription, the very first one that I got, I have a bin over there to put all this in because there's a lot today. The first one that I got was in the Targhee base. And it's a fingering base. You know what? I'm just going to put one of these on here. So pretend that there's 2 socks when I show you one. So this is the Glowbug socks from Woolens and Nosh. They are super comfy. They're, like I said, they're the Targhee base, so they're a little bit thinner. It's a fingering weight. But I love the Targhee base. I can tell that it's just really going to wear well, but they don't feel like, I don't know, steel wool or, they don't feel super scratchy or anything. So the next ones that I have, let me put 2 more on here and then I can get through here faster. Dress my little foot. Okay, so the next ones that I have, this is her Wes Anderson colorway. This pattern is Peace and Joy. I've been looking for that's right. I've been looking for patterns to knit self-striping on just all sorts. The self-striping is fun. It's even more fun to have a pattern knit into it. I love these. These are super comfortable. It has, well, sort of an eye of partridge. I messed it up on the bottom half, but it's got an eye of partridge heel. That was one of the things that I wanted to do, was include different heel styles. So those have an eye of partridge heel. These, believe it or not, are semi-controversial. I'll get to that in a minute. This is Woolens and Nosh Pengwings from this month, or from, what would have this been? February? I think this is February. Wes Anderson would have been January, and Glowbug would have been December. So, or no, Glowbug wouldn't have been December. Glowbug would have been maybe November. Maybe? I don't know. I think I got behind. Anyway, this does have an eye of partridge heel on it. I tried something a little different in how I did the heel flap and then picked stuff up, so that's got this little purl ridge on it. Again, these are DK, so they're super cozy and comfy, and I love them. Here's the funny part. I took them to knit group, showed the ladies at knit group. I love the ladies at knit group. And then they all looked and they're like, oh, they're Aldi socks. And if I'm going to put the Aldi logo up, but yeah, these are now my Aldi / Pengwing socks. And the name Pengwing comes from how Benedict Cumberbatch says penguins in a documentary that he's narrating. And you have to look it up because it's so flippin' funny. Anyway, so if I can remember, I'll put a link to the video down below. So these are my Aldi Pengwing socks. The next ones that I have are again, Peace and Joy. Same pattern. I'm missing a pair. That's okay. I'll show them to you another time. These are called Spring Forward. The colorway is called Spring Forward. The pattern is, again, the same Peace and Joy that you saw with the Wes Anderson style. This one, I opted for just a ribbed heel on, and again, DK Cozy Socks. So this year, when I went to Iceland, I really wanted something kind of to remember the trip by. I like to buy like a skein of yarn or something like that. And it's always for a specific project. So while I was there, I did get some Icelandic wool to make mittens. But then while I was there, oh gosh, I think it's Jamie Lomax. She does all the Doodle patterns. She was looking for testers for an Arctic Doodle cowl. And I was like, oh, that would be amazing. I would love to do that. I would love to do it in Icelandic yarn. So I got my skeins of yarn there. And this is what I ended up with. This is the doodle that I put together. So I'm just going to put this up here and kind of rotate it so you can see it. So I did my test knit for her, and I absolutely, so this is an infinity cowl. It's, you know, it's basically a tube that you Kitchener together. I absolutely loved this. It's Arctic wool. So I'm going to put it on, and I'm sorry about this. I'll try to, maybe I can edit the noise out, but so if I need something to keep my face warm when it's cold outside, this is perfect. I absolutely love it. It is crazy warm, which is why I'm not going to keep it on any longer than that. I bet my hair looks amazing. Anyway, but I love this. I took a couple pictures. I'm going to post one of them or put one of them up in the video here to see a little better. It is super cozy. I know I will really, like, I like to go hiking. This will be one that I'll probably wear if I need to stay warm while I'm hiking. And it's a look that I can take this and I can actually, well, I'll show you. It's a fantastic, crazy look, but I'll tell you what, keeps my ears warm, but still lets my head breathe a little bit. And I know that's the craziest thing that you've probably seen in the world is a topless hat. But if you're somebody who hikes, you understand what I'm talking about wanting to keep this part warm, but let the heat escape. Sometimes I wear a wool buff for that same reason. So that's my style trick for today. The next thing that I have for you is it's a cap that I made. So this is yarn that I got when I was in Rhinebeck in 2022. My daughter and I went. And this was a special yarn from La Bien-Aimée at one of the tents at Cakapalooza. My point with this is that this was a skein of yarn that I got to remember my time at Rhinebeck because it was so super special, meeting friends up there and stuff. So this is called the Firewood cap. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this to start with. So if you wear it like this, it's got, it looks just basically like a ribbed hat. But if you tip it up, and then if you can see right here, it's got some purl ridges built into the brim. And it's by Lindsey Fowler, and it is, the yarn makes it super soft, but the hat, like you can see how stretchy it is because of the rib. This is the nicest just throw on and go hat that I have. Some of my others are kind of fussy, and I don't like fussy when it comes to that. I just want to throw a hat on and go. So this pattern, like I would, if you're just looking for like a, I don't want to say generic, but if you're just looking for kind of a basic, but better than basic, I guess, or, you know, a little more styled or a little different than just basic, this hat is amazing. Oh, and check out the crown. Isn't that cool? It's the crown to me, and I'm not really, like, I don't really pay attention usually to details like that. But the crown on that is so, so pretty. Anyway, so that's the Firewood cap. I liked it enough that I also knit one for one of my daughter's boyfriends, and I did not get a picture of it, but I knit two other hats, Barley hats by Tin Can Knits, and one of those was a baby hat for my doctor. I mean, I had like a little bit of yarn, and I'm like, oh, I can whip this up in no time. I had an appointment to see her right before she had the baby. I was like, here. We have a great relationship if you can't tell, because like, why would you knit? Anyway, why would you knit for your doctor if you didn't love her? So gave her a hat for the baby. And then I knit another Barley hat for my other daughter's boyfriend. I did not get pictures of either of those Barley hats. So they were sent out into the wild with no pictures. Oh well. So I was in a gift knitting mood this year, which is kind of weird, but 2023. Still am a little bit this year. So the other thing that I knit was a pair of socks for my husband, and these aren't, well, here, I'll show you. These are my socks that I knit. He really liked these socks. They're just a basic shorty sock with a bit of a ribbed cuff, heel flap and gusset, nothing special about them. However, he really liked the yarn. And I thought, well, if he really likes the yarn, I'll knit him a pair too. So I knit him a pair as well, basically just like these. And he loves them in the winter. He doesn't wear them as much in the summer, but he wears them around the house in the winter. And it's funny because everybody that I knit socks for is like, oh, I'm only going to wear those in the house. Like, wear them in your shoes, wear them outside, like they're meant to be worn. Oh, no, no, no. No, I'm only going to wear them in the house. Okay. They appreciate it. I shouldn't complain. So that's what these are. Well, the ones that I knit for my husband that are just like those. Chuck that in the bin. I'm almost done with my FOs. And I think I'm going to have to do another video for my whips because it's just a lot. So next, I got... Okay, that's fine. We'll chuck that one in the bin too. I got a sock tube. I got sock tubes cranked a while ago, an embarrassingly long time ago for my birthday. Anyway, so I knit this sock tube into a pair of socks. And again, I tried something new. Had a mini for the cuff and the afterthought heel. This is where I went with something different. I decided to try an anatomical toe. So this is the top. So if you can see, that would be the left foot, and the right foot, matches like a shoe would. So yeah, I'm not going to pull it out. You get the idea. Anyway, so I knit these. So now I have a pair of Christmas socks that basically I knit myself. I mean, I'll take it here. So I have this, which is leftover tube from the Christmas socks that I showed you. I don't think this is enough for a pair of socks. Or if it is, it's only shorties, and who wants shorties in the winter? So I'm wondering if you guys have any suggestions on what to do with this. I thought about making Christmas stockings for pets. Don't laugh at me. I thought about doing that. I thought that would be fun. I think it's a fun pattern, but this is like West Yorkshire Spinners self-striping, and that seems a little, I feel like I could do something a little bit better and like actually wear them. I don't know. Maybe I could like put a longer cuff on them or longer foot or something, and my husband could have a pair of these. He might like them. This is the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about. So this is all of my leftovers of self-striping from the Woolens and Nosh club that I was telling you about. So my question is, what do you do? This isn't enough for a pair of socks because I have big feet. What do you do with your leftovers of self-striping yarn? I'm looking for some ideas on what to do with this. Part of me is like, oh, well, you could make some Franken socks, or there's a whole bunch of things, but I'm wondering, what do you guys do with those? I would love suggestions down below on what you do. Anyway, so that's it for whips, and I will be back. Sorry, whips. Yeah, whips that are finished, whips that were whips the last time you were here. I'm going to go ahead and stop right now, and I will be back in a little bit, and I will tell you about all of my current whips that are no longer whips, better known as FOs, because FOs were right now. I will tell you about the whips when I come back here in a little bit. So I'll see you then. Have a good day.